Hey there, it is our Monday meetup, and I'm sorry I'm coming on a few minutes late. I'm not sure what's going on with my phone. Anybody ever know have that happen? It just kept spinning and spinning and spinning, whereas the internet's working in the rest of the house. I think it had something to do with the App Store, or I just needed to shut my phone off and start afresh, which is what we need to do too sometimes, right? It's funny now that I think about it, it's sort of tying into what I want to talk about. So, illness and injury, forefront of my world this week. As a week ago, I ended up not doing a live. I think if you read the post, I was in the ER in the morning with severe abdominal pain. We thought it was appendicitis. Really grateful it wasn't and didn't need surgery. But interestingly, it was diverticulitis, which is an inflammation in the bowels. And that's really surprising to me because I take really pretty good care of my health. I do a colon cleanse or a body cleanse, intestinal all the way through every year with juices. And so it sort of took me by surprise. But the bigger surprise was the antibiotics and how they affected my body, because I also don't put foreign substances in my body, or as little as possible. And so antibiotics once a year at most, ideally less than that, for a lot of years. But threw me for a loop, made me lightheaded, made me dizzy, and made me really have time to just, all I could do was lay around and reflect. And part of it when we are ill or injured is our body and our soul's way of saying, it's time to take a break. You're pushing too hard, it's time to stop. And so when you have that time to reflect is when I like to go in and dive deeper into, okay, what's going on in my energy body? What's going on in my emotional body that's bringing this out in the physical? Because it is truly my belief that everything that represents on the physical, as far as injury, broken arms, cuts, bruises, whatever, or illness, major ones, minor ones, that they are linked and tied to emotional stuff going on underneath. Energetic body stuff that is stuck, not moving, hasn't been cleared. And it's just sort of another wake-up call opportunity to say, hey, are you ready to deal with this? Are you ready to release this? And as my good friend Deb says, what does she say? God's beautiful plan, there's never anything in the physical universe that doesn't have an underlying energetic. There's always something energetic underneath. And so when we look at the emotion of it, I had a dear friend who reminded me with a beautiful email of diverticulitis in particular. She looked it up for me. And there are places online where you can research this stuff. And just start doing searches for emotional tie-in. Because I know there are some great books and resources out there to look it up. I just usually tune in to my energetic body with my psychic mediumship to hone in on that. But any inflammation in particular is about anger. It's about suppressed, repressed anger. And when it has to do with the elimination system, it's about things you're not able to let go of, things that are not moving out and through because you're holding on to them. So for me, I had to sit and look at, what am I holding on to? There's something in me that I'm holding on to in my daily life that I'm not surrendering and going into acceptance with, that is causing this inflammation, this ridiculous infection, and creating an obstruction and pressure, and can lead to very serious complications. So in looking at that, one of the tools also is to look at, okay, is it on the right side or the left side of the body? Typically anything on the right side of the body is going to be your masculine side, and could be potentially related to father issues, spouse issues, anything with past boyfriends, anything on your masculine representation in your life, of where those things are coming from, of what in your life has come from the masculine or is not being represented in your own masculine as far as stepping into the world. Your right side is also the leg or the foot that you step into the world and your physical reality with. How do you move forward and about in the physical world? Whereas your left side, your feminine side, is really about walking in your spiritual world. How am I moving forward in my etheric, energetic body and my spiritual journey? And what on the left side is also related to my mom, my sisterhood, all of my feminine friends. Where are those continuous things? So if it's showing up on the left side of the body, you might just look at what goes deeper. That say you have a rash on your left arm. Left arm is wanting to reach out and either grab or give or take or shove away, right? Actions with the arm. So things that maybe are around your mom, you haven't been able to either take in or give back, that there's a lot of repressed anger about, because anything with the skin, as far as inflammation, rashes, that kind of thing, that's another sign of anger that's not being released. And I would say anger is probably the biggest piece of a clue that we can go back and find that we don't let it out. We don't deal with anger much. We like to project it. We like to yell and scream at other people, especially people driving by that irritate us, right? Even those situations, there's something there showing you, something within yourself that you're not really going into deeper. And so when I look at my anger, if I've got this repressed anger on the right side of my abdomen, and it's stuff that I'm not letting go of, where in my life can I look at what pieces in my masculine relationships I'm not letting go of and moving into acceptance with? And under all the anger about that is that subtle, there's grief, there's sadness about things if I can't accept them. And how do I move into just feeling all that sadness, feeling whether it's disempowered, feeling taken advantage of, feeling, there can be so many layers, but when you really tune in, you know what is in yours, in your piece. And if you don't, then get someone like myself to help you tune in, because that's what I do with clients on a regular basis. We go in, we use my psychic mediumship skills, my energy reading skills, and we tune into not only where is it locked in the body, but what's happening, where did it come from, what childhood memories are associated with it, how can we bring it up and out, because that's really the key in unlocking it. And in this piece, I'm talking about really just becoming aware, because our body, if it goes into illness, is trying to show us, oh my gosh, I've got something there that I haven't dealt with. And it can also be that you have been doing a lot of release work. If you know that you've been doing a lot of release work, so you're confused at like, why is this showing up now? I did a whole bunch of work around that. It could be the final release in the physical body, because you've done all the release in the other, that needs to move through and let go. So a lot of times, especially with fevers and little short illnesses that come on right after you've done a whole bunch of clearing work, especially like after a weekend workshop, onset of something to move through the body in that way, just a hot burnout through, is a way for the body, for the physical, to catch up with the energetic and emotional. So it can work both ways, but I just wanted to bring that up today because it's hitting me home front right this week, right? And I know, I had thought of another example when, and how we can clear. Like major illnesses can clear out of the body when you hit the emotional pocket. When you hit that emotional pocket, it can be gone. So this isn't a major illness, but it was a great example. For probably 15, maybe 18 years, I had this wart on this finger, right here on the end of my, right where my fingerprint would be. And it was so irritating. I would play with that thing. I would pick it. I'd burn it. I tried having it frozen off. Nothing worked, because there was an underlying emotional aspect here that I wasn't dealing with. And I'll be absolutely honest that in emotional work, when you really get to the core and you release it, and it's your childhood memory, and that piece just moves up and out, you actually don't have any memory of it. That's God's grace. It's totally erased from the all bodies. From the soul, from the energetic, from the physical, from the spiritual, emotional, all those bodies, it's gone. And what I remember about it was that at the end of the day, I went through this really big emotional release. I was sobbing for, I think, probably close to 45 minutes, and I didn't even know what it was about, but I had hit something and some memory banks came in, and it was something on the masculine. It was something to do with someone in school, grade school. And all of a sudden I realized, and I looked at my hand, and the thought went through my mind, that's going to disappear now. Oh my goodness, it was gone the next morning. That quickly. My body shifted that quickly and released it. So I do know it's possible. I do know it's real when we hit those pockets and we can release, that things can shift and clear and heal. And I've seen and heard of wondrous remissions with cancer, or totally reversing when people actually go and get into the emotional flow of what's blocking underneath. So just wanted to share that, just fresh in my mind, wanted to bring it to the forefront because I know a lot of people are sick right now. A lot of people are struggling. Yes, we've got the winter flus going around, but why is your body in particular susceptible to it? Are you just run down, or is there something deeper? And as always, I hope you always go deeper. So I am feeling like drawing a card today. We will draw a card with my lovely Archangel Power Deck. And let's hold for all of you watching the replay. I know it's a holiday here in the United States, so hopefully you're out playing and doing something wonderful. We just got fresh snow last night. And I know if I was feeling up to it 100%, I would probably be skiing today, but instead I am here and with you guys, and I'm excited to be with you guys. And I'm going to do a card for us. I do want to mention too, the Way of the Dragonheart program applications are available right now. So if you have any inkling towards dragons, I know a lot of the people on my Invoke Healing following list aren't necessarily aware of the dragons, but quite a few of you are. And we do have a group called For the Love of Dragons, where we have weekly lives as well on Thursday or Friday. And you can open up to them, see what they do for your journey. They are a key part of the ascension process for those aware of what we are doing with our light bodies and bringing them in so that we can all actually move into a more loving, more peaceful species of humans on the planet. And anyway, I have a 9-month course starting up called Way of the Dragonheart that is going to be really owning that, really diving into all the aspects, be it ceremony, magic, working with the dragons, being able to call them in, so that those who go through and finish the program can live it, can actually have it, own it in their life, and it will probably get some of them into a different line of work with healing circles and moving into that. Hey Jen, nice to see you. Hope you're having a nice holiday. So with that, applications are open. You can message me or email me at araya@invokehealing.com to get an application and find out more details. But for today, let's do a reading on, since we're talking about illness and injury, let's focus on what's happening with your emotional body in line with your physical body. And this is for everybody that's going to be watching the replay as well. And what message would be the most influential or helpful at this point for you today in tying in if you're actually ill or have an injury going on right now that you want clarity on, that the card that we pulled, that this will give you some insight or information or direction to go forward with. So finding the card that's meant for everybody tuning in, and let's see. The Queen of Ariel. Mature, practical, generous, happy. Nurture yourself and those you love. The ability to make anything more beautiful. Practical and wise advice. So the first part of that, nurture yourself and those you love. If you are feeling out of it today, I'm feeling like those tuning in, it's about nurturing. It's about really honoring yourself and giving yourself the time for that reflection. Going inside when you are ill to not just lay on the couch and watch movies. That always helps us feel better and rest. But nurturing yourself means really going in and feeding your soul, finding out what's the underlying cause. Taking the time for you, going internal in meditation if you can, especially when you're lying there in the middle of the night awake, to give yourself those answers, and practical and wise advice. That something that I've said here was a piece of wisdom for you, and quite practical as far as right side, left side, giving you little clues about which way to dive into with whatever is creating those injuries or illness for you. And the ability to make anything more beautiful, including your life. So as we get aligned and aware of all of these connections within our bodies and how they interplay and how we can change our physical dynamic, everything in the 3D world, by being aware of that and bringing it in, that's gonna make everyone's life more beautiful. Most particularly your own. So I hope that was helpful. I want to just look at the picture here. I feel like there's something calling from the picture. And I'm just seeing these beautiful beds of roses, beautiful fruits, and I'm seeing here there's the Ariel's represented as the queen, but also as the angel back here. And I feel like that's showing you, when you take that time to nurture yourself, that's your time to get in touch with your higher self and with your angelic guides and beings who are there to show you the pathway to your healing, that are there to show you, especially if it's a repetitive thing that keeps coming back in, what the underlying causes are. So I hope that's helpful. If you need to get more clarity or want to do a session to get that, please message me as well. And I will see you next week on our Monday meetup. So have a great one. We'll see you later. Bye.